So I'm just going to play against the AI so I can concentrate on talking. It's going to be a bit easier than trying to explain what I'm doing against an opponent where you've got very limited time. But here are some of the new strategies that I've been employing. So supply is really important at the beginning. Supply specialist gives you 50 per round, but quick supply gives you 200 right at the beginning. So quick supply can be really good to get the upper hand really early on. And taking these slow units is actually really useful. I never used to think so. I used to think speed was always the best choice. But I'll show you how to use slow units. So never put your units further forward than your towers initially. You can do later on, but initially you can put them just one step forward like here, but that's far enough. You might want to put them just a little bit to the side, so if they do bring units in on the flank, you've got something protecting. Now, fangs are a little bit slower than sledgehammers, so really the fangs should be at the front. And they've got phoenixes, so we definitely want the fangs in front. So let's bring these behind slightly. I think we'll just put them here. Put the fangs in front, and then have these in the middle. Now, because we took quick supply, we've got 400 cash. Now, if you click on this tower, you can recruit an extra unit. So what you can do is use this to get 3 extra units at the beginning. They're only going to be 100 cost, but 3 extra units on round 1 will pretty much certainly win you the battle. Now, always unlock a unit, even if you don't intend on using it, because there's loads of free ones here that you can unlock, and you may as well. There's no reason not to unlock it if it's free. So we're probably going to need a sniper to counter their phoenixes. So we could recruit 3 snipers. I think that's probably the best choice. Have them spread out a bit, so no matter where the phoenixes are put, you've got snipers covering everywhere. And then later on, if we unlock faster units, they can go further behind. I reserve the back row for phoenixes, and then in front of that you can have your mustangs, crawlers and steel balls. Okay. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got 1 extra unit than they have. And as you can see, we've got tons of units still alive. So we will have gained a lot more experience than they did. Shield airdrop is always a good one to take. A free shield you can never sniff at. It's not free, you have to pay 50 for it, but every 2 turns. And Missile Strike is also good. So we could take a Missile Strike, but I think the shield is probably the best choice. So I reckon just sticking it right in the middle probably work out quite well. Now, once again, we've got 400, so we could spend this and get another unit on the field and still buy 3 100 cost units. So once again, you may as well recruit another unit. Both the Arclight and the Crawlers could be useful. Now at the moment, I think the Arclight is going to be more useful than Crawlers. But then again, the Crawlers will keep the the Phoenixes occupied, but they will get slaughtered by the Arclights. So yeah, I think the Arclights are probably the best choice. So let's buy 3 of these. The good thing with getting a mix of units as well is it gives your opponent a lot of things to think about, because we've currently got 4 different unit types on here. So that's 4 different things that they need to think how they're going to counter. So I like to put Arclights on the flank. And the reason for this is, I never put them directly on the flank, so I can still fit another unit in there if they try and flank me, something that's more appropriate to the flank. Now the reason that I put them on the flank is because the enemy, or the opponent, quite often put Mustangs on the flank. And these are incredibly good against Mustangs. You can buy this armor enhancement, which basically nullifies all damage from Mustangs as long as we're the same level. So if it's level 1 Arclight versus level 1 Mustangs, they are basically impervious to the damage. And they also kill them quite easily as well. So that's why I like to put them there. We've got one in the middle as well, just to try and protect the sniper a bit. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they actually deployed an extra unit this turn. But as you can see, we've got almost our entire army is still alive. So we'll be gaining huge amounts of experience. Incendiary bomb is very useful, but for the time being, because we're easily winning, we may as well spend the supply on things that are going to bolster our army. So, first thing to do is upgrade anybody who can be upgraded. Now we've got 600 cash, so we can use this. Mass recruitment again. And we can buy 2 units at 200 and 1 unit at 100. And then we've still got 50 left over. So we could basically unlock one of these units, or we can get the free unlock on the Crawler. So let's have a little look to see what the enemy's got. So they've brought in a Rhino. So Steel Balls are the obvious counter to the Rhino. So we're going to unlock the Steel Balls. We're going to purchase 2 of them. And then we've still got 100 left over to buy something else. So I think we could probably get some Fangs. It might be worth actually getting an arc light. In fact, before I do that, yeah, so let's get an arc light. Then again, fangs are going to be the better choice for the flank. So let's buy a fang, because they've got phoenixes at the back. That'll just kill the arc light immediately. So let's buy some fangs, put them back here, and they're just going to distract the enemy. And we're going to want steel balls on both sides and potentially on the flank. So, because they're the fastest unit, we want them at the back. And because the rhino might flank, we're going to put them on the flank at the back. So not directly at the back and not directly on the flank, just one space inwards, so we can still fit something else there. And as expected, come in for the flank. So we've now got steel balls in position to counter the rhino. And down goes the rhino. So we've currently got everything we need to counter anything that the enemy's got to throw at us, basically. We've got snipers for the phoenixes, we've got sledgehammers for swarms, and we've got fangs to distract high damage, single shot enemies. Okay. So I'm not particularly fond of these. Super heavy armor would be good on a fortress. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's see how much cash we've got first, actually. We've only got 800, so if we take this, we're only going to have 500. And then if we buy the recruitment thing again, we're only going to have 450. But that's still enough to buy 2 100 costs and 1 200 cost. So let's do that. So what are we going to want? Probably more snipers. Now we can actually upgrade him. So if we upgrade him, we can still buy 3 100 cost units. Now if you do manage to get an ability where you can get cheaper units, 50 supply less, it's usually on the steel balls and the mustangs, I believe. I can't remember if I've seen it on anything else. Then they combine really well with this strategy, being able to buy these for 150 instead of 200. So we're going to want something to tank the damage of the rhino, so he doesn't automatically run forward and kill our arc light. So I think crawlers would probably work really well. So let's unlock the crawlers. And then, in fact, the fangs with the ability would work really well. The ability costs 400. We're not ready for spending supply on abilities yet though. But we can still put the fangs in front, which is why the crawlers are only going here. In fact, we want to make sure, yeah, if you click on the unit, it shows you who they're going to go for. So we might actually want to move him up here so they all go for the rhino. It'll keep him occupied a little bit longer. And then we've still got 200 left, so we could stick something back here to bolster the centre. And the phoenixes look like the biggest threat at the moment, so I reckon if we go for 2 snipers and just stick them in the middle here, that'll give us a little bit extra firepower for the phoenixes. Now we're just saving this module because we will be buying a fortress soon. And they're getting a fortress of their own, but that's fine, we've got the steel balls in place. Not quite sure what killed the arc light there. Maybe the rhino got through. Maybe he got through faster than I anticipated. But as you can see, we've still got a huge amount of our army still left. And we've almost won, basically. So when you're very close to winning, now is a good time to actually take these abilities. But they're spread out quite well, so an acid blast wouldn't be too bad across here, but I think we're killing them very easily. And we've got quite a few units to upgrade. And we want to buy a fortress, so let's just skip. Upgrade the units that we can upgrade. And we'll see how much cash we've got left. So we've got 800 cash left. So we want to buy a fortress. And we want to stick this on him. Now he's going to come across here and tank for this arc light. If I put him here, he's going to go for the arc light. So let's just move him forward slightly. Now he's going for me. Now we've got 200 supply, so we could get another steel ball to counter the rhino. Now what we want is for the rhino to still attack there, which he is doing. Yep, that should be fine. Now we've got another free shield that we can use, so I think if we stick that over here, it'll protect us from these units coming across. We've brought the acid. So, oh, it's not the acid, it's flame. My bad. So they're going to potentially win this flank now that they've got the flame. But we'll easily slaughter this flank. We've got all the counters that we need in place. So even if this flank did fall, we would easily win the battle still. Now this anti-air barrage is fantastic. It's got a range of 180. Their phoenixes have only got a range of 160. So this even outranges the phoenixes, which is insane for a unit that's not even designed for anti-air. So that would be the next thing that we purchase, because as you can see, we've now got no anti-air. We've got a few fangs back here that might win the day. but being able to put anti-air on the fortress is a huge deal. And we get one more round. Assault Fortress. Decreases the range, but increases the HP and attack. This is really, really good, this is. The range by 10 does not make much difference. Being able to get 30% extra HP is huge. So we're going to take that. And we are going to give the fortress anti-air barrage now. And we've got enough cash for 2 more fortresses if we wanted. Or we could buy barrier and get 2 cheaper things. But I think 2 more fortresses would work quite well. So we can just bolster up the other areas, give them some tanks. These are basically tanks. That's all they're really designed for, is just absorbing a load of damage. Now, because this is the last round, we could even use the emergency supply. It's potentially the last round anyway. Use the emergency supply, get the mass recruitment, and then stick another fang back in this corner, just to annoy them a little bit more. That'll pull these out of position. So, perfect timing for the anti-air on the fortress, because they've just brought in air over here. And he lived long enough to kill the Overlord, just from that one ability. So pulling these out of position has let us reach the tower. If I hadn't have put the fangs over here, these would have been in front of the tower, and I would have had to have killed all of them units there. Now obviously there wasn't that many units there, but if there was a lot of units there, it could have opened up the way to the tower, which could have been vital for winning the battle. So that is a lot of the new strategies that I've been learning. So I hope it's been helpful. Cheers for watching, take care, and I shall see you soon.